Mr. DePlasso, I have two items for action. The first item, 3.01, would ask for your approval for the broadcast rights agreement with ESPN for that group to continue to provide broadcasting for our athletic events for next year. I'll wait until discussion. I have more information about it. I can give it to you now. I know there was an email. Let me just give it to you now. There was an email that went out for Mr. Kabilka earlier this week asking about this agreement, in particular the 25% of funds that were supposed to funnel back to the district. However, it's my understanding that this group did not make money last year, and they're not in a position to be able to pay their employees. I do have Mark Becker here, our athletic director, who knows a little bit more about the agreement and the nuances involved. They do want to continue to try to make a go of this, and they are going to be relying on sponsorship money that they hope to get now that they're in their second year of coordination with this effort. So we did not receive any revenue from them from last year. They did provide the broadcast for us. Mark, if you could just talk a little bit about what they did. And again, they want to try to make this go. They're asking for the approval of the agreement so that they could go out and begin a more concerted effort to get sponsorships.
That's a pretty good summary of what's going on. Last year, you all approved the contract. It was close to the football season. They got everything going. They did the broadcast. They did it for our football season. It happened so late, so quickly, they didn't have really a chance to go out and make the sales of the sponsorships that they wanted to. In my opinion, the fact that they're broadcasting our games and our fans are able to find them and enjoy the broadcast is more important than any money we might get from them. To me, that's a bonus. It'd be great if they're able to go out and make sales and we're able to profit off of it. But I think the fact that our fans have been able to find them and been able to listen to them, been able to enjoy the games, that's, just create the excitement about our sports teams, I think is the important part. They do want to try to get this approved early so they can go out and make these sponsorship sales, and then in turn we will make something off of it as time goes.
They do all sports, Mark?
They did football last year, they did boys and girls basketball, and again, we started getting a really good following. They were hoping to maybe do some baseball and softball, but they just didn't have the funds to pay the guys to do it, to keep it rolling. So I think it's a very good thing. I think it's a positive thing. I think our fans are really on board. It's just going to take some time to grow.
Hey, Bill?
Yes.
Do you have any expense related to that last year?
No expense to us at all, no.
No.
No. In fact, they had to go out and raise, every time our football team made it to the PIAA playoffs, PIAA charges any broadcast outfit to broadcast that game. They had to go out and raise money just so they could pay for that to broadcast for our fans. And they did it on their own. They didn't ask us for any money. We didn't give them any money. It didn't cost us anything.
Okay.
There was an issue where they were going to ride along on our bus or and stuff like that. That never occurred?
No.
I just have a comment. I think it's a good group. But their agreement was to give us 25%. If they sold a commercial for $10, we get $2.50. The agreement wasn't that we get 50% of their profits or anything like that. So what happens if they sell a commercial, I don't care if they sold one commercial per game for $10, we are entitled to $2.50, even if they're upside down by $50. Their agreement is to give us 25% of what they charge for the commercial, not how much profit they made. And so they went against that. If they want to say they're going to give us nothing and we would just agree to the fact that they will provide the broadcast so we don't get anything, I'm fine with that. But I think that the way that it reads, they're giving us 25%. They didn't give us anything last year. It has nothing to do with making a profit or not making a profit. I understand that. But I would say that if we're going to just let them off the hook, that the contract needs to be changed, and it just says that they will provide these broadcasts and we're done. That we're not going to get anything off of them, because I think that's all that straight, clean. They absolutely are providing a service and providing some type of an outlet for our alumni and anybody else who's interested. But I'm just a little miffed at the not getting anything. If we got $200, okay, then they sold 800. It's just the agreement was they give us 25% of what they sell, not what they profit.
Mr. Kabilka, I agree with you. Mr. DePlastro, let me ask you, when we sign agreements, that we have the right to inspect the financial statements of these organizations?
Depends on the structure of the agreement.
Okay, all right. Well, what was the agreement from last year?
Probably the same as it is this year. I don't have it memorized.
So really, last year, the school board directors really didn't consider inspection of individual entities and the veracity and the validation that we have with that contract. How do we validate? How do we verify that they didn't make any money? How do we do that? All right? Now, if Mr. Sennett, who's a solicitor, would not take that into consideration, what would be the reason why? We have a relationship with the Mill Creek Schools Foundation, or Mill Creek Education Foundation. Are we allowed as school board directors to review the 990 IRS forms? Can we ask questions? Can we have the executive director to come and explain certain line items? You are aware, Mr. DePlacido, that the Mill Creek Education Foundation still owes us $34,000. I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you.
I would like to have the opportunity.
We're
as-
getting off subject here, Mr. Allard. We're going to talk about the MES.
Right, let me go back to it, right? I would like to have the opportunity to review the financial statement of the organization. And I agree with Mr. Cavillo.
Okay. Mike, anything else?
Just want to
I mean,
read.
we're going to talk about it in committee.
Yeah,
so-
I don't have a problem with them, I just would like to be straight up.
Yeah.
If we don't want anything, if we're okay with that, and I agree with our athletic director that it's a benefit to us, let's just put it there.
Okay.
Because I don't doubt for a minute they didn't make a profit.
Okay. Mr. Hall?
I'm good, I would just need a motion to approve the agreement.
So moved.
Well, are we going to modify it though?
Well,
Well, I take a motion.
Why don't you just leave it the way it is, and if we get something, we get something, if we don't.
Because they're going against the agreement. They went
We have
against
a
it last
motion
year,
to
they're going to go
accept it.
against it this
Well,
year.
actually,
I'm sorry.
I have a question. I'm going through trying to find that language again where it says they agreed to pay us 25%. So if that language is in there, I'm going through, I haven't seen it yet. And I just want to make sure, and I have to agree with Mr. Polka, if we signed a contract, the previous board signed a contract saying they were going to get a certain amount of money based on any commercials that they ran commercials, and then we didn't get the money, and they're in breach. But, again, if they didn't make a profit, we want to just zero out the money that they owed, so going forward, they're not going to pay us anything from commercial revenue.
What, do we want to put this on hold until?
Yeah, I think it's put on hold so we can review it.
Until the end of the month, maybe?
I move that
Do we
we
need it?
postpone till the next meeting.
Do we need it now?
I think it is time sensitive, they want to go out and start selling commercials and getting sponsorships. I mean, could we do something to take that language out for the 25% for this year? And move forward with that, so that, I mean, I don't know
I gotta be
how.
honest with you, I didn't go through the contract. When I spoke to them, they didn't tell me about 25%. When he sent the emails at first, I heard of the 25%.
I can't find that, Mr. Cavilli. I'm not
It's,
sure where you-
Tim, it's in the third section, that's 16 kilobytes, the third one
And
down.
it's a second page, it says fees. The
Yep.
network will compensate the district a commission rate of 25% payable upon collections by the network of advertising revenue generated from football sponsorships.
Right, and I suppose that should say, if we're gonna go by 25%, it should go by anything that they broadcast, otherwise we can just eliminate it. And it also was saying collection, and in the broadcast business, selling it and collecting is two different stories. I'm sure there's deadbeats that didn't pay, and so we're not gonna get what they didn't collect, which is fair. But I think we should just, if it says that they're gonna give us 25%, they need to, and if we don't want it, if we don't need it, I'm fine with